Preach. Hi. Good morning. Orun ko baba. Ó ní nǹkan tó ṣe ni. Sorry. Okay, I'm on the farm and there will be some little distractions, but okay. We can just continue like that. Okay, don't mind me. Okay, now the 7 tons, if you have your maize farm, first we're going to start from land size. Let's decide, because I don't understand, many people don't even know what the actual land size is. You see, we just get a farm. Okay, so we just manage with this network. So with what the actual size of the farm is, an acre is heavy area of land that is 4,000 square meter. You know, when we talk of 4,000 square meter, an acre is an area of land, an area, when you multiply the length times the breadth, you get 4,000 square meter. When an hectare is an area that you multiply the length multiply by the breadth, and you are getting 10,000 square meter. Let me split it further. If I have my land, if I take a tape rule and I measure the size of my land on this side, and I found out the size of my land is 100 meter here. You understand? And then I take the tape rule again and measure the breadth of my land, and I discover the breadth of my land is 40 meter. So you do multiplication, you know, length times breadth that we do in school. So you just say 100 meter multiplied by 40 meter. My length 100 meter multiplied by my 40 meter breadth. It gives me 4,000 square meter. You know, it's now square as in complete. So that is your 1 acre. But now it doesn't necessarily mean your land will be 100 meter length. No, we don't even have that kind of land. Most times you get 50 meter length. Most times you get 80 meter length. Or you know, the lengths are not equal and they are scattered and everything. But you just take your pen, we take your tape rule, measure the land. After measuring the land, then look at, multiply whatever you get. Whatever you get, multiply is what will give you the size of your land. So if your answer, if you multiply 80 meter by 50 meter, we give you 4,000 meter square. That is an acre. 100 meter by 40 meter, we give you 4,000 meter square. That is an acre. So anything you multiply to get 4,000 square meter is going to give you 1 acre. Now when we go to hectare, I'm trying to explain this so that because we use most of these things when we start this, when I start explaining how you can get your 1 tons and how you can get your 7 tons per hectare. Okay, so now this we've already calculated the 4,000 per 4,000 acre. Now for the hectare, you find out that any multiplication of your land, if you do your length times breadth, and you are getting 10,000 square meter, that is 1 hectare. Now the difference between hectare, now your multiplication doesn't have to be 100 meter times 100 meter. It could be 120 meter multiplied by another meter, whatever. By the time you do the calculation and you get 10,000 square meter, it is 1 hectare. The difference between acre and hectare, let's explain it. An acre, we told you, is 4,000 meter. An hectare is 10,000 meter. Now, you first remove 4,000 from 10,000. You are left with 6,000 from an hectare. Remove 1 acre from 1 hectare. You are left with 6,000. Remove the second one again. You are left with 2,000. So it means in an hectare, you can get 2.5 acre. So if I'm telling you I have an hectare land, it means I have 2.5 acre land. I hope you are getting the calculation. Now, another thing is this. If you now, in a standard, if you are using a standard, the standardized measurement of land, farmland, I'm not using plots or people that are building houses. I'm talking of people that are farming. You are doing crop, you are doing anything, you are farming. The standardized measurement for land is hectare. Like I remember whenever we are giving reports, when I was doing some projects with IFDC, they would tell us, whatever calculation you get, you must convert that calculation to hectare. But in the rural side, most of the rural side, we make use of acre. You know, farmer will tell you, I have 10 acres, I have 20 acres. But if you are converting, if you are reporting for an international body or for anybody, you must calculate. You are expected to calculate in hectare. I hope I'm making, please, let me just signify if you are going along with me, if I'm not too fast. Now, with that, you now know your land size. Now, when we are talking of corn, because like I said, corn is the same thing as maize. I think is both English. There's maize, there's corn. Now, most farmers have been struggling with growing maize and corn, growing maize. I will be using the two intermittently or whatever. I will be mixing them up. I can use maize, I can use corn. You know, I'm speaking about the same thing. So most farmers are actually, they've grown, and the highest a Nigerian farmer, an average rural farmer, the highest harvest they get from their corn farm is, the highest from the corn farm is 1 ton, 2 ton per hectare. I don't know if I'm saying this okay. The highest they get is 2 tons per hectare. Now, why is it so? In other countries, modern countries where people are doing maize and corn, do you notice that if we are importing, the maize they are importing is cheaper, affordable than what we are producing in Nigeria? Why? Now, let's discuss it. Other countries where we are importing those maize and corn, they are harvesting from their harvest. I know there's a country that they harvest 10 tons per hectare. There's a country that harvests 21 tons per hectare. So you mean some other country now, when they plant their maize, they can harvest 10 tons, they can harvest 15, they can harvest 18, they can harvest 20. But in Nigeria, on our own 1 hectare, please don't mix my acre with hectare. Hectare is 2.5 acres. So on our hectare, our farmers are harvesting 1 ton, 2 tons. Now let me break something down again for people that don't understand. A ton is 1,000 kg. A ton is 1,000 kg. Let me break it down further again. Okay, a ton is if everybody know 100 kg, like that our bag that we used to pack maize, that we used to pack corn, that we used to pack onions and everything. Everybody know it is 100 kg. So if you have 10 of that bag, 100 kg 1, 100 kg 2, 100 kg 3. If you have 1 up to 10, that is 1,000 kg. Now 100 times 10, so you have 1,000 kg. So that's your 1,000 kg. Now if you want to, you don't want to be saying 1,000 kg. You don't want to say when I have 20, I don't want to be saying I have 2,000 kg. So you now say if I have 1,000 kg, it means I have 1 ton. That is the conversion. So whenever we say 1 ton, it means a farmer in Nigeria is harvesting 100 kg of maize in 10 places, 1 ton of maize on an hectare. Whereas some farmers in other countries, in some African countries, they are harvesting 7 tons, they are harvesting 10 tons. Don't forget, that was why I wrote my book. Even the book, people are still questioning me. They will say, okay, it's not clear. The book, people are still questioning me. They will say, okay, how are you sure of it? How are you going to arrange the maize to be same? So this is what we are going to be breaking down. I'm going to use just 5 points to explain how you can get 7 tons per acre and per hectare. Just 5 points. 1, plant population. 2, your soil management. 3, your water management. 4, your weed control and pest control. Then 5, your weed control. 5, your pest control. And then 6, your pollination. I'm going to explain this point. If you have them, in case I miss one, you can bring them back. That's why I mentioned them to you now. Now, the first one, plant population. You can see, I was just telling somebody this morning, most of us, we don't use our data, our internet data. We don't use it to search for information. We should start using that. You see, before I could adopt my plant population, I want to talk about plant population, because before I could adopt my plant population that makes my yield to be high in maize, if the network will permit, I will take you to the maize side. You will see the maize that I planted that are just coming up, and you will see the plant population. I think I'll just quickly go there briefly so that you can see it after I finish explaining plant population. Now, you find out that I googled online, I went online, I was looking at what exactly is, if you googled online plant population, just put maize plant population or put any plant you are looking for, the population, put it, google it, it will bring recommended standard for you. It is now left for you to go to look again, okay, how actually do I arrange this size, this number of plants on my farmland of 1 acre or 1 hectare? How do I arrange it to fit in so that I can get good yield? you want to get 7 tons per corn. Let me explain. If you want to get 7 tons per hectare, the first thing you should consider is your plant population. How many maize is on your farm? How many maize is on your farm? Now, I'll walk briefly to where the maize is, and maybe I'll be able to show you some of the maize farm there. You find out that in the recommendation for maize population, you find out you could either have, in some places they say 65,000, in some places they say 85. I even have a book where they said 90 to 120,000 is the plant corn you should have on your farm for maize on your 1 hectare. On that, your 10,000 square meter. You understand? But how many of us actually followed it up? Now, I will show you some sample here. I'm entering the farm side, the corn side, and I hope the network will still help me out. Look at this corn here, if you can see it here. See the corn here. You find out, look at the corn. This is 30 centimeter. I plant my own corn at 30 centimeters. See, one hole here, another hole here, another hole here. You can see my spacing. This is 30 centimeter. See my spacing, 30 centimeter from here. This is another 30 centimeter. So if I arrange my farm like 30 centimeter on my farm, and I did my spacing well, on my home farm I'll be getting like 70 on my hectare. I'll be getting 25,600 plants, which means on my hectare I'll be getting about 70,000 plants on my hectare of maize corn. I'm sure you are surprised at that. Now, for the general farming, most of you that farm, you just go to the farm, you get the tractor and say, oh yeah, plow this place for me. And when the tractor plow the place, you bring boys. Yes, you bring boys, you get laborers, and you say, okay, yeah, take corn. You give them your corn and they start planting. When they start planting, the spacing at which they plant for you, some are 1 meter, some are 50 meter, some are you know what I mean? And that is what they plant for you. At the end, it will take time to go and count those plants that you have on your farm. You will be having between 6,000, 7,000 or 8,000 plants on an acre. It means you'll be having about 20,000 plants on an hectare. Now let's compare. You are having 20,000 plants on your 1 hectare. I'm having 7,000 plants on my 1 hectare. The recommended number of plants on 1 hectare is between 70 acres. On your 1 hectare, I have 70,000 on my 1 hectare. The recommended is between 65,000 to 120,000. Now let's do some calculation again. It is each of the plants, 1 plant, 2 plants, that will bring one cup of maize. You know what I mean by one cup? One stick of maize. If each of the plant, if each of my own 70,000 is bringing one cup of maize, each of your 20,000 is bringing one cup of maize, and each of the, you know what I mean, who will have more yield. So right there, my population has given me an edge of planting, of getting a better yield than your own plant population. So we deal with plant population there. Now let's go to, I mentioned the soil. There's no time I will talk about crop production or anything that I will not mention the soil. You see, like, soil is the foundation of everything. It's like you are building a house. You want to build a 3-story building, and the foundation you build is the foundation for a bungalow. Automatically, even the engineers or whatever, they will caution you against it. But already in agriculture, nobody is cautioning us, so everybody just do whatever we feel is right, and we are expecting what we feel is good. Now, if you have this soil and you really want to maximize, you want to get your yield out of that soil, you go to the farm, you get a tractor, you get to the farm and say, okay, plow this place for me. In the process of plowing, make sure, if you take note, for people that have planted before, why the tractor is plowing, some place will be hard, some place will be soft, some place will have better grasses, some place will be scattered, some place will be dark colored, some place will be light colored, some places will be stony. You know, you have different you meet different things on the farm when they are applying for you. Now, is it on this same land you really need to make, and you see, in secondary school, some of us that were in secondary school, we listen to biology or whatever, you find out that the richest nutrients, it's not even about secondary school. Meet rural farmers. Once they enter a farm, they pick the soil. They determine if this place will be good or not. The color of the soil is even an indicator to you that your plant will grow well. So why then do you plant on clay soil? Why then did you plow? Why then did you plant on just empty soil? Because you plow the land and because you want to use 20 acres and you are expecting good yield. So what in essence am I saying? You have to build your soil to be able to produce for you. It means you need your foundation to be solid before you can build a 4-story building or triple-story building on the foundation. So if the foundation is wrong, everything is wrong from the beginning. So now what do you do at your foundation? Then some of us, see, you can afford fertilizer. I don't really want to talk much about fertilizer today. There are two types of fertilizer. There's the NPK 1515 and there's the manure that we use. Now in the NPK 1515 and the manure that we use, and in the NPK 15, okay, for the NPK 1515, they are synthetic fertilizer. You add it to your corn, you add it to your maize because you want the yield to be high. But now, what I recommended most time, it's not compulsory. You use manure. When you want to use manure, you have to mix it with the soil. How do you mix it? It is recommended to feed the soil. You need to get nutrients, and the nutrient, it is recommended that 30 tons trailer. You know what I mean? A manure of 30 tons trailer. Use it to fill up the soil of 1 acre. It means on an hectare. See, I'm used to using acre most of the time because that's what we use in the village and that's what we use to calculate most of the time. But I'll be converting it to hectare so that you understand the conversion. So if on my farm, it is recommended 30 tons trailer manure to use for my soil, then for an hectare, it will be 30 plus 30, 60 plus 15, 75 tons trailer. And then the funny thing about it is that if you use this manure, you don't have to repeat it every time. You don't have to. Now, why are we recommending you use this manure? One, it doesn't kill the microorganisms. There are microorganisms that are living in the soil. Most times when you get to a rich soil, you see different organisms that are crawling, running, and everything inside it. Go to the land you are plowing with your tractor. As they are turning it up, do you see any living things there? No. Because why? They've been killed. They've been destroyed by erosion, by so many things. But go to a very rich soil. Most times in Yoruba we say ilegbo. You will see all these things there. The leaf that has decayed, plants are living underneath, things are playing underneath, and so many things are there. You will see it there. So if you have that kind of soil that is rich, there will be all these living things there, microorganisms. They are the ones that are building the soils for you. They are the ones that are assisting you to build your soil. Now, but the one you are using your tractor, you are turning over and turning over and turning over, you won't see any living things there because it has been compacted, whatever, and it's getting destroyed. And eventually, after like 2 years or after like some years, the erosion will have washed the topsoil away, and you won't have any good thing to give you better yield. So even if you keep adding NPK 1515 and everything to the soil, you still find out that the soil will still not give you better yield. Now, when you use manure, it's like you are helping those microorganisms to build their soil back. As you're helping them to build their soil, back, you find out that you're also helping to build your own plants. So when you pour those manure on the soil and you plow them together, or you pour the manure on the soil, you plow, and you know the better arrangement for your plant. The plant will not struggle when they want to feed on the crop. As in, you see, let me give you an example. You have 10 children, and then you give them enough food that everybody will be okay. They will not fight each other. I'll just go to the kitchen. When you cook your food, you label their name, you put their name on the food. This is A food, this is B, this is C, this is D. So when everybody go to the oven, they open it, pick their own food. A pick his own food, B pick her own food. There's no quarrel, there's no fighting in the house. But you have 10 children, family B. You have 10 children. And these 10 children, the food you cook is just one plate, and the 10 children are to eat from that one plate. What will happen? They'll be fighting. You know why they'll be fighting? I want to eat to my satisfaction. B want to eat to his satisfaction. Everybody want to eat to the satisfaction. So the food will not go round. So in the process, some people will eat and be well fed, while some people will not get any spoon to feed. You know, Yoruba will say, Baba Guyoni no ewe and whatever. I don't know how to say those proverbs. So in essence, what I'm saying is that if you don't feed the soil with manure, your crop will not, even if you plant, if you don't feed the soil with manure and you have high plant population, you follow the normal plant population, you will still not get better yield, because some of the plants we struggle with the nutrients in the soil and use it to develop. Some that could not get any to develop, they will give you olomoshikata, those coin that we have scattered something. But if you feed the soil, just bet it with me again. You come and thank me later and say, wow, you said so. Feed the soil and then use the right plant population. You see, when I started in Agua-Amodu, when I started my plant population, they would say, it's too much. Breeze will not touch it. Kinikon will not touch it. That one will not touch it. But for the past 2 years now, each time I plant corn, they always come and say, go to Oyinka. I'm just being sincere with you what is happening. So what I'm explaining now is things that are the second part. After your plant population, your soil must be properly fed. You should even struggle to do that, because if you plant your 1 acre, if you plant your 1 hectare on a normal crop, and if I plant my 1 hectare and use my system, and you plant your 5 hectare, we will get the same result. But if you calculate the cost, you will have spent more than me. And you will have wasted land, you will have done so, so you should, the cost, the work you do, justify the cost. There's nobody here. Hello? Okay, I'm back online. Okay, so sorry, I'm on the farm and a lot of distraction, but we'll get through, we'll pull through. Okay, so now what I'm saying is, so you need to feed the crop, feed the plant to support your crop, and you'll be in the process, you'll be maintaining your soil, as in your soil will not you'll be maintaining your soil as in it will not quickly degrade, it will not quickly lose its value, and you continue, those microorganisms will keep building the soil for you every time, and you'll be keep on using it, you'll be enjoying the soil. I told you that's the 2 point. Number 3 point, because I was mentioning, I mentioned water. You see, when we are importing corn, you find, like I keep saying, I like referring to imported corn or imported maize. About 4 years ago, Olam import maize into Nigeria. As of that time, farmers were selling at 80 naira per ton, 80 naira per kg for corn. When Olam was importing, the landing cost as a length that time was 40 naira per kg, as in, understand. And I was wondering why actually will import, despite paying the ship whatever, transportation and every whatever, and it's still cheaper than what Nigerian farmers are producing. I think that should be about 5 or 6 years ago. That was actually what motivated me to start looking into maize farming. Okay, what exactly are we doing wrong? Why are we not getting it right? Why are farmers not getting the best result? And I discovered so many people don't have that knowledge. Okay, now the third thing is water. Do you know that those maize that were imported into Nigeria from other countries were not grown and be waiting for God to pour water? It's still only in our area here that you see farmer plant. Okay, in my community now, for the past 2 weeks, or how many days? For some days now, there have not been rain. Some farmers has planted corn. And now everybody is saying, oh God, let rain fall. Oh God. Yesterday I was telling them, I don't want the rain to fall, because my boys want to go and pack cattle dungs, and I don't want it to be wet. Everybody was like, oh yeah, because you have water, before you do this, because you do this. See, it is only, how could you? Let me give you one instance. You want to plant 40 hectares. You have money that you will invest on 40 hectares. Why don't you invest money on irrigation? Why don't you invest money on cut down 40 hectares? Instead of 40 hectares, do 20. Use the money for 10 hectares to do irrigation. You won't even spend up to that. I remember there was a time I mentioned about rain harvesting. You create dam. Create dam. When you create dam, I even mentioned it. There was a document. I don't know if I can check my Yahoo. Maybe I still find it. In the In the document, I was searching for how to get water and all these stuff in my research, like I said. And I came across a farmer that excavated 2 meter by 2 meter size land. He excavated 1 hectare land, and the depth was like 7 meter or 2 meter. And the water, the rainfall that are stored in that place, the farmer used it to plant even in dry season. Now, you want to do 40 hectares, you want to do large hectareage, why will you be waiting for God to pour water, for Christ's sake? Please, look at how you can get water. And even, you don't need to even create your dam yourself. There are some places that water used to pass through during rainy season. Open those places up. Like, there was a time I said, if you have 10 hectares of land, convert 1 hectare to a dam. And with that, you don't need to wait, oh God, oh Lord. Now, you put manure in the soil. You plant the best plant population, but you did not give this water. Like I told you now, for the past days now, farmers here are praying again. The one that have planted their corn, because they are waiting for rain. And rain is not yet coming, and nobody knows when. Let me now give you one calculation, something most people don't know. If you plant something, am I too fast? Okay. If you plant any crop, and you are giving it water initially, the rain fell, you plant corn, then all of a sudden the rain stopped or water stopped. What will happen is that the crop distraction. Mind me, sorry, I told you I'm on the farm. My farm is always busy. Sorry. Now the rain fell. Rain fell, and after some time the rain stopped. If the rain stopped, what the plant will do is that it will be surviving with the water and the nutrients it has stored for that time. Let me open the back water. Just the bag. Thank you. So sorry, I told you I'm on the farm, and this is the best time I can do this, or else I'll be tired by the time I get home. Thank you. Hey, my water is full, and okay, thank you. So you find out that the plants will now will be feeding on the water. Yeah, okay, it's like when you are fasting. When you are fasting, or when you get to somewhere you don't have access to food, you will still survive based on the food you've eaten before. You understand? So, but you remember your plant. You want it to grow fast and produce food for you, and produce yield and produce a big corn. You understand? Now, when it is living on the water or the nutrients it has stored before, it means it will not grow again. It will remain, or it will even be decreasing. After some time, when you start giving it water back, it will not go back. It will start from where it stopped. It can't go back to where it's supposed to be when, assuming you have been giving it water consistently. That is the effect of water in your nutrient. Yes. Now, the manure you added to your crop, if it's not getting water, the one we are waiting is down. No, don't open that one. Hey, sister, don't open it. It's down. I've opened it down. Okay, sorry. So the water, you will not, you understand? So assuming if you don't give it water, it will not be able to reach that stage where it's supposed to reach. Your yield is already decreasing. That's what happened when most people are waiting for rain. What we do on my farm is this. We plant, but there's irrigation underneath everything. You saw the maize I want to show you there. You saw the irrigation I told you there. The drip tapes are there. If there's no rain, we open the water. If the rain comes, we allow the water to. We don't bother about the water. It means we save petrol, we save fuel for that day. So your water is very, very important. At least corn, your maize need water twice a week. Worst case, twice a week. If you can afford thrice a week, you will see the yield you will get. It will pay for all the water money you have spent and every other thing. If you can survive that. So that is why those are the things we need to do. We are getting to our tons, our yield per day. Now, somebody has a question, say, can you talk a little more on water harvesting and storage? Yes. You see, water, so that we're still in water. Water harvesting and storage is this. If you have a place, like I said, for now, you shouldn't. Most people take agriculture, they just take it as God will. See, let me explain something. There's something we currently call climate change. Climate change is changing everything. When I was in secondary school, my geography class, I remember we were taught that you have, in my geography class, we were taught that you have, we have the rain start falling in March. You know, March is the third month of the year. That rain season start falling in March, and it will end in November. That was what we were taught in my geography textbooks and everything. I still remember when I was in secondary school. Now it happens that nowadays rain. This is May, and as I'm speaking with you, as I'm saying here, rain is not yet fully here on my side. You know what I mean? So it means the system has changed. Last year, today make it 1 year that I was plowing some land. I saw the video. Facebook reminded me that by this time last year, I was plowing some places where I want to plant. This year, there's even no rainfall for me to plow the place yet. So anytime the calculation we made now is that anytime rainfall, we just quickly rush and plant. I'm coming to your question. I'm just explaining. So now, with the effect of rain, climate change, I won't talk much on climate change today because there's another topic on its own. Now, the climate change has changed a lot of things. So rain is not, the quantity of water we have in a year has gradually reduced in some places. And in some places, it has gradually increased that they are having flooding and everything in the northern part of Nigeria. It has never been heard before. Last year, there was flood and everywhere, and that was why so many crops got lost. You know, so the system gradually changed. The system is disrupted. Right now, as I'm speaking, no farmer can predict the rain. So when the best thing is for you to do water harvesting. What do we do water harvesting? You see, right now we're shouting, there's no water, there's no rainfall and everything. There's a period. Usually it used to be around June, July. Around July, they will say August rain. That's why they say August rain, July, August, where rain will be falling every day. In some places, they will say the rain must fall for 7 days. The rain must fall for 10 days. You know what people do? It is that period. You will have excavated that place. And see, in my farm here now, I know where the water passes through whenever it's raining. Yes, I know the waterways. So you will target that waterways. And at the end of that waterways, you will go and create your water dam there. You're harvesting there, your little dam there. So that during those periods that rain is flowing and is coming, it will go into that drains, into that something you've created there. Please, you can also Google it online. It's not something hidden, anything I'm mentioning. So your rain, Google it in African countries, they are using it. So the water will start there. You know, you will have blocked it. It's like you are creating a mini dam for yourself. So that when the rain stopped, you can now pump back this water onto your farm. And you have something to plant. Or even when the rain did not stop and you are planting and maybe just land that the rain has stopped in the last 4 days, 5 days, you can take out of the water that you stored there. Look at Israel. You know, I always tell people in our Bible then, Israel was supposed to be they are the God's best friend, or God, you know, that is where most of the thing in the Bible happens. But do you know the first thing I always say is that even God denied them water. They don't have, I learned, they don't have much water as we have here. But what did they do? They didn't wait for that God to say, oh God, oh, come and give us water. No. What they do was that they find means of saving their water. Do you know they were the one that started the drip irrigation system to save water on farming? 2, they harvest every blessed water that passed through their soil, that passed through. The same thing I learned in Dubai. They harvest their water. Yes. So if I'm not saying we don't keep waiting, government do this, government do that. Individual, if you can invest in 40 hectares land, if you can invest in 20 hectares land, then you should be able to invest 1 hectare for irrigation, for water harvesting. It's going up there. Okay. You know, if you can invest in, depending on your capacity. So that is about rainwater harvesting. You should be able to invest, you see, so that it saves you cost. It increases your yield. You have better yield, and you can go to market. You can smile to market. Let me give you another instance. If you put manure on your soil, do you know before when rain used to start in March, people plant corn twice in a year. Most corn, most maize, they are 2 months, 3 months. You plant in March, you harvest in May, and you plant another one in June that you will now leave till October or November. But that is not possible anymore because the rain has reduced. The rain season has reduced. So, but if you create your water for yourself, if you have some support for your water, it means you can plant more than once in a year. You can plant twice. That same soil, yes, you can use it. You can plant twice, and you have more yield because of that water. And you know, you can see the what corn was speaking this year. You see the maize and corn and everything, the way it was speaking this year. quite expensive. And you see, it's just because we have more farmers, but we have less harvest in Nigeria. Imagine we have 1 million farmers and everybody is harvesting 1 tons per hectare. Instead of in a country where they have 200,000 farmers and they are harvesting 15 tons or 7 tons per hectare. So those are the things we need to consider. Now, the third thing I'm going to be discussing about is weed. You know, I said I'll be discussing 5 or 6 things. The third thing I'll be discussing weed. You see, when we are talking of weed, weed control, you see, when you plant your crop, anything, when you put it down into the soil, the weed starts to come along as your crop is growing up, as your crop is coming up, the weed comes along with it. As the weed is coming along with it, you know what they do? The weed is sharing the water you are giving that crop. The weed is sharing the nutrients that is in the soil that your crop is supposed to feed on to be able to produce big size crop for you. The weed is sharing space, is suffocating your plant. So you need to control your weed to the barest minimum. You go to some farm like this, you'll be battling with the weed and the corn. You won't even know the difference. And there's corn inside, they'll be showing you. You understand? So from the minima, from even when they were very tiny, is when you are supposed to prevent from weed. Because weed competes with everything you can ever think of your farm. Yes. So your weed control must to the barest minimum. That's the fourth one. Now the other one I'm going to talk about. Let's talk about pollination. You see, when I was in secondary school, I always refer to my secondary school because I was one of the best students for biology, and I don't know why I love it then. I don't know it will be useful for me on the farm now. You see, when they were teaching us petals, sepals, flowers, and part of the flower and everything. To me, it's because I love bright things. I just love those topics and everything. But I never knew it would be useful to me. You find out that pollination is the process. Now I'm an agric teacher. You guys will pay me for being an agric teacher, for biology teacher now. So you see, pollination is the process by which, all the plants we have, they have male and female organs. Just like we human beings, we are female, we are male. So plants, they have male and female organs. I'm sure some people shouldn't be surprised. If you do biology, you shouldn't be surprised. But if you've not gone through biology, then you know what I'm talking. You might be surprised at what I'm saying. There's male flower. So in all this crop where they are coming, so there's male flower, there's female flower. So now, in most cases, what they do is this: we have some birds, some organisms like the bees, the butterfly. One is even flying in front of me here. The butterflies, the bees, and everything, we have them. What do? They move from flowers to flowers. Look at one of the flowers in front of me here. You can see this is marigold flower on my farm. I usually propagate it. Once it's rainy season, I'll make sure they are scattered all around and everything. There are several flowers like that you can have on the farm. Now, what they do is this: these flowers, the male and the female, these things come to look for them. The bees, the butterflies, they come, they are beneficial something for you on your farm. They come around to look for the flowers. Now, they will move. When they get to the flowers, they are not looking to eat your plants or anything. There's something we call nectar. I remember if you have lived in the village like me, then in the rural, I remember when we were coming from primary school, there's some flower, red flower like this, we pick it and be sucking. It's one sweet something is inside it, will be sucking it. So if you know that red flower like that, so those are called nectars. They call it nectars. So it is those nectars that those bees and butterflies, they come to look for on your farm, on the flower, and they can only find it inside flowers. So those bees, when they come, they will now perch on one of the flowers. Why they perch to suck the nectar on their body? I told you there's female flower, there's male flower. The male flower has something called pollen grains or pollen. Sorry, I may not too be good in all these topics. So pollens. So as their body is shaking the flower, the pollens will be touching their body. Then they move to another flower. They perch from flower to flower, picking those nectars. In the process, they are helping you to move the male organ, the male reproductive system of the plant to the female reproductive system, and that is what will increase your yield on the farm. So, now the other method of pollination, I've told you, pollination is the process by which plants produce food. Yes, if there's no pollination, you will not have any food. If there's no pollination, your maize will not fruit. If there's no pollination, your beans will not fruit. If there's no pollination, your pepper will not fruit. You just get that into your mind first. I think I always feel most people don't even understand that. Like, let me simplify it again. If you plant corn and your corn is growing, if you get to a stage, it has to go through what it calls pollination. On the corn, there's something called tassels. Tassels will come out. When these tassels come out, you see bees, plenty bees. They'll be singing and whatever there. It is the bees that move the pollens around and they are pollinating. That is when, it is after that period, that is when you will know there will be fruits on your crop. If you buy something, the bees are not there or the butterflies are not there and these things are not there, you will not get fruit. And that's okay, you will not get fruit. I remember somebody asking me in the cashew class yesterday that he has seen a cashew that did not fruit, and I said I don't know what causes it. This could be one of the causes. If the bees are not there to do the pollination, you are not going to get any fruit on that crop, be it maize, be it pepper, be it tomato, anything you plant. Now this is where most of us now get it wrong. We now take synthetic pesticide. You know what they call synthetic chemicals? You now take the chemical, and the chemical is kill and go. You now take them in the morning or anytime. You now go to the farm and start spraying. You are killing pests. In your process of killing pests, you are killing the pests that should be beneficial to you, that should make you have more in yield. You are killing the pests that should have added to your production, and you don't know. I don't know if you guys are with me here. So if pollination does not take place, see now another method of pollination, if the butterflies, the beneficial insects, if they are not assisting you to pollinate, is wind. Like in flower, not every crop can really undergo wind pollination. Wind pollination means when the breeze is blowing, it will blow some of the pollen from one place to another. But most especially, the most important thing, the most effective one of pollination is bees and those other butterflies that are helping you on the farm. But unfortunately, unknowingly, most of us carry chemicals and we kill them off. If you come to my farm at any time, bees will be singing into your ears. Most times when people come, I'll tell them, most times they don't even bite. They don't bite, and provided you don't use perfume, because if you use perfume, they'll be following you all around. So you see bees going on my farm. I don't tell people they don't bite so that when you come, you be careful of them. Go to my cucumber, you see them singing. Go to the maize, you see them singing. Anything, because I don't use chemicals. Like, this class is not about preaching against chemicals. I'm just telling you how to increase your crop. Because if I preach and say don't use chemical, people will ask me, okay, what's the alternative? What are we going to use? For me, I don't use it, but I'm not preaching against it right here. I'm just telling you possibility of why you are not getting your increased yield on your farm. So you kill the bees, you reduce your yield. You kill butterflies, you reduce your yield. Somebody is supposed to ask me, so how do you control? What of all these pests that will now eat my plants? This is the difference between there's beneficial plants, beneficial pests, and non-beneficial pests. Now the beneficial pests, the beneficial insects, not pests anyway, insects, beneficial insects and non-beneficial insects. The beneficial insects are the ones that do pollination for you, the bees and everything. The non-beneficial ones are the ones that destroy your crops. Now let me explain how it operates, because you wonder, why do you say this one is beneficial, that one is not beneficial? How do you know that? Okay, the bees, they won't eat your plant. They are not interested in eating your plant. They are looking for pollens, for nectars, like I told you. And in the process of looking for that nectars, they move from your farm from one place to another in sucking nectars. Now, they are not eating your crop. So it means I don't know the English they use for them in biology again. But for the ones that are destructive, the pests that are destructive, they are not interested in your flowers. They are interested in your crop. So they come around, they suck, they bite your plant and destroy your plant. Now, the pest, if you now want to control those pests, this is where we go natural. You understand? If I use synthetic, the chemicals that will kill them, kill and go ones and everything, it will just come and I will wipe everything, both the bees, both the whatever, you wipe out everything. And so your crop will be left to wind pollination alone. Now, but if I don't want to kill the bees, that's where you go and look for your dongoyaro. You know what I call by dongoyaro? That's when you go and look for your dongoyaro, your neem tree, maybe one of this class, but you guys will pay me then. I'm coming with a book, how to prepare your pesticide, your organic pesticide, how to prepare it by yourself and how you use it on your farm. You know what I mean? So that one now, you need to understand. See, people will tell you, see, like I told you, I'm not preaching organic, but I'm just telling you why your farm is, see, our fathers, let me go back. Our fathers then, when they farm, they were not using chemicals. They were not using anything. They grow naturally. There's a natural habitat that plants can grow very well. And there's a natural habitat that is expected for you to maintain your crops. But the moment you break the natural habitat, you start using all the chemicals, you use all the herbicide, all the whatever, you are changing this. And then, you know what happened? Let me give you an instance. If you are controlling pests, you buy one chemical. You spray this week. You spray next week. Do you know those pests? They will go and develop resistance to that things you are using to kill them. So the essence is to get to a stage that chemical will not have effect on them again. And that's why you see synthetic chemical producing company, they keep changing the names or changing the whatever every year. And in the process, we keep destroying, you keep reducing your own yield. And that is why most of us are not getting the actual yield from the farm. Now, with these explanations I'm making, with all these little things I'm telling you, if you put that into effort, I remember, okay, just about not up to a month, 2-3 weeks ago, a senior auntie came here. Most of you know me on Facebook. Yes, the mom bought my book and she uses the book. She said she followed my spacing and used some of my method and she got a bountiful yield. Yes, you can go back to her and ask her. And she got bountiful yield, and her yield was different from what she was getting the year before. She has to come to the farm to come, and she came to the farm. She said she really wants to appreciate me for that. So when I tell people that, look, okay, I wrote a book which I said 7 tons per hectare. Like I told you, people have been questioning me, how do you get that? How do you arrange it? Like the plant arrangement, like on my farm. Though I've not been able to meet up with the right arrangement that is recommended, but I'm able to do 25,000 per acre on my plant population. Yes, I've been able to do 25,000. Because by the time I arrange on my raised bed, you know, I've showed people my raised bed several times. I don't know, I'm not close to the raised bed there, but something on the raised bed. On my raised bed, I have like 300 plants. With my 300 plant multiplied by 80 beds is my acre. So I'm getting 24,000, 25,000 plants. So it increases your yield. This is my, you see, I just felt I should inform people about all these things because most people don't know. It's not just like, and like I said, I'm not preaching organic, but I'm just telling you why you are not getting the right yield for your corn, for your maize farm. Now we are entering the maize season again. You can start practicing. You understand? You can adopt some of the method I've mentioned. And for those that may be interested, I have a book on that, the maize 7 tons per acre. Somebody still was thanking me yesterday. She even sent an audio and was like, thank you so much. I've learned from your books. I've learned from your writings and everything. The same with somebody that planted tomatoes with my book, Tomato Millionaire. See, I'm a practical farmer, real practical farmer. So now I'm going to leave time, maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes for question. If you have a question, you write it there. I will quickly attend to it before we go. Like I told you, I'm on the farm. I have to be walking and moving because our network is not too good. And so let's say, and if you have question on this related to what we have discussed today, let me just have it so that we can quickly attend to that before we go, because we have some few minutes to leave this place. You are welcome. Question? And if there's no question, okay. It takes 2 minutes. Okay. Thank you. Now it's good. Okay. So I think I touched all the five things I want to mention.
Water, manure, weed control, plant population.
Yes. So I actually handled everything, and the network seemed to be fluctuating. Okay.
The sand, the soil. Let me use Benin for example. The sand, the soil is always red. So how will you now be able to know if it's rich enough
Okay, somebody is asking me a question around there. He said in their home place the soil is always red, and so how would they know if the soil is rich enough? You see, there's some tests we do for soil. You pick the soil, you put it inside water and see the rate at which it floats or it goes down. Then most times red soil means they don't have living organisms inside them. I don't know if you understand what I mean by living organism. Let me tell you why we have the black soil.
Red soil.
Everywhere. So you need
Some particular place you just be red.
So if you have red soil all through, it means you need. Yes, but they need to support it with manure to get good yield. They need to support it. You see, planting is not just about I can plant pepper, but at the end of the day, what's the result I got? Did I get good harvest? Did I get enough fruit? Or did I just plant? See, several of us, thousands of us are farmers. But actually, are we farming productively? Are we making, you understand me? Do you notice in year in, year out, several people rush into the farm and thousands runs out again? Why? If it's productive for them, if it's whatever, they won't run out. Yes, there are challenges. There's a lot of challenges in farming system. A lot of unpredictable things you cannot predict. You understand? So, but you really need to understand that, okay, you really need to understand before you can get it right. Somebody say, what's organic fertilizer to use apart from synthetic one? You see, when you talk of organic fertilizer, actually, currently in Nigeria, people will tell you I'm selling organic. I don't know, and I can't recommend anyone, and I don't know anyone. I'm not saying they are fake, and I'm not saying they are not good, but actually the best bet for you, if you have a poultry near your house, get their poultry waste. I don't even mind paying. I will pay for poultry waste. I will pay because you are sure this is natural something. I remember one of my trainer there, they imported, you dry it. You can't use it wet. You have to dry it, ensure it is properly dry or composted over a period of time. So I can't say, and then see, there's something people always ask. People always feel you can replace the solid fertilizer, like the solid fertilizer with liquid one. No. Liquid fertilizer can never replace natural. Like most, okay, sorry, my network went off, but I'm back now. So, okay, I've answered the question by mentioning manure. Thank you. I'm glad. So instead, I've answered the question. So just go for the natural one, and you are sure of what you are adding to your soil. So then, like I said, liquid fertilizer cannot replace solid fertilizer. For instance, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to spoil anybody's market, but you can't just buy one bottle, 1 liter something. They will now say add it into water. It will spray 1 acre. That is not true. Let me use an example on that before I leave. If you, it's like, okay, somebody, all this GNLD and all these things that they come and sell, earth whatever, I don't know what they call it. They will now, but those ones, they won't preach to you and say don't eat, just use only this one. It's like the same thing when you are getting liquid fertilizer or liquid whatever, and somebody say once you use this liquid fertilizer, just pour it inside water and spray your farm. You don't need any fertilizer again. It automatically means don't eat, don't feed your plant, but just give it this water to drink and it will be good. It's not true. So please don't. When people send me those kind of messages, you don't use any liquid fertilizer to supplement. You can use it to support, but don't use it to replace your normal organic fertilizer. No, it won't work that way. So I hope with this I've been able to justify. Okay, now somebody will still ask me, you've not mentioned the semitons. Now if you have 25,600 plants, or let's say you have 25,000 plants on an acre, and each one of them grow very well when they get nutrients, when they get water, when they get the necessary things you are supposed to add to it, and they grow very well, and they are giving you one cup. You know what I mean by one cup? One cup of maize. Do you know what that means? It means you're having 25,000. Let's even say we lose some of it, because you cannot get everything complete, but you will get very high percentage of it, 80% or 70%. So let's even say you lose some. From 25,000 you lose some, and you're having 18,000 or 17,000. You are still netting your semitons, compared to when you don't plant, you don't have the right plant population, you didn't take care of the weed, you didn't take care of the water, and no pollination. So that's why it's no pollination if you finish killing all the bees and there's no pollination for you. So do you know on my farm right here, the other time I built a beehives. I have beehives which my boys hang on one tree somewhere there. But we even noticed that without the beehives or whatever, we have plenty bees on the farm. But I really want to create something for them, so that I want to be collecting honey from them, since I have plenty bees that are always visiting me here. So why don't I take advantage of that too? So I'm building, I already have 2 beehives, you know, where bees live, but I still want to have more. I think I want to have up to 20 or 30, so that at least to increase the number of bees on my farm. So they help in your pollination. And that's why when I come around, I say, we harvest this on Hectare, you know where I got some of them. But see, you cannot have one of these things and leave the rest and be expecting results. You need to put them all together, and that's what makes you to be a farmer. It's like a medical doctor. You can't say, it's like a medical doctor. They can, if you are treating anybody, they have to give everything together, compatible for you to be well. The same thing with your plants. So don't just take it. If you know you want to farm, be a farmer, not just cut and paste farmer like people normally do. So if there's no question again, we'll call it a day for today, and then look forward to tomorrow when we come out with another topic again. You can also share this with your friends. You can get my books if you want. My books on maize is 4,000 naira. There's soft copy, there's hard copy. And my book on tomato is also 4,000 naira. There's soft copy, there's hard copy. One of my best books I always recommend is How to Farm Profitably in Nigeria. That is 5,000 naira. That's my first book, and it's a general book, yes, How to Farm Profitably. You should get it. It will help your farming something. You'll be amazed at what we get there. But then we don't have the hard copy is currently not available now. We only have the soft copy. So you can get me. You can, please, I don't like giving my numbers, because you give numbers now, everybody will start calling and calling and calling. No, for now, just send me messages on Facebook or anywhere. I will just respond to it. Thank you for joining us for this afternoon. I'm still Yinka Adeshola.